Recording has started. So I want to do the solution to our assignment, and we are going to create a page called in our components folder. Or let's even create a folder for to do. Let's go inside
The
the
screen is
component.
not showing.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me present my
We
screen.
cannot see your screen.
All right. Thank you, sir. I will present it now. Can you see my screen now?
So it's coming
Yes.
up.
Okay. All right.
So it has come up.
Okay, good. Let's proceed. Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder within this components folder, and we're going to put everything related to the to-dos. We put it inside that folder. I come again. We're going to create a folder in this components folder. Then we'll put everything related to this. Remember, we have other projects here, like other things that we've done. So I don't want them to mix together. Or better still, I can even delete all of those things that we've done in the past. Or I just create a folder, then put all the to-dos tasks there. So let's create a folder called to-dos. So everything related to our to-do will be here. The first thing is we want to be able to add a new to-do. Then be able to display to-do. Then we're able to delete to-do. And on like that. So let's go.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, please. This to do app.
Yes, sir.
So I want you to explain the meaning, as in what's the essence of this to do.
Okay, imagine I have some tasks to do tomorrow. I can open the to-do app and write the task. Tomorrow I will sleep, tomorrow I will coach, tomorrow I will eat. Like I'm going to write on my to-dos there. And once I complete any one, I will click on maybe completed. When I click on it, then it will mark it or something like that it has been completed. So, but let's assume I mistakenly clicked on completed. Then I can click on it again so that it will undo it. Do you understand? Something like to-do
Yes, sir.
list that will keep the task of those things you want to do sometime in the future. Then once you do it, you tick it. And let's assume you mistakenly ticked it, then you can click on it again and undo it. So that's what we want to do. Inside this place, inside my to-dos, the first is, I can just call it my to-dos .js. So let's start with this. Const my to-dos equals to, we are creating ES6 function and a functional component. Remember, I want to use GSX here. What do I do since I want to use GSX?
You return.
I'll bring in import React
React from React.
from
Okay.
React. This is what you allow me to use JSX. So I come here, return. Click on my return. So I want to return this whatever is there. So next is come here, export default to this. So we have this. Then let's bring it into this place, to the app.js. So in the app.js, I don't want to touch all of these things. So what you can do is, I'll just comment everything on this page. Everything, okay. Then, first,
Okay, so can I ask the question, please?
yes, you can.
Okay, I've been missing this class and I'm curious about, do we have to load this Node.js app every time?
Do we have to?
this application that we downloaded. Excuse me,
Yeah.
let me fetch the name. Like if you want to start a new like a new React
Yes,
um
project.
pro- yeah, project. Do we have to open this app every time? This app that this my create app that we
Yes,
are
you have to
supposed to
run the create React app. Or
again.
yes, or what you can do is this. You can zip this. Once you create a new app, a new project from scratch, you can zip it and keep it. So whenever you want to create a new project, you just go to that zipped one, paste it and unzip it so it will serve as a new project. Do you understand?
I
So
don't
So
get
what
after
it
if
though.
creating a new after running the create react app to download a new project from scratch, you can zip that one. Then
Okay.
you keep it somewhere. Then whenever you want to start a new project, you just copy the zipped file, then you paste it again so that it's going to be two now. Then you unzip one of them. So that will serve as brand new project. That's what I should have
I
even done.
How about if you open a new tab on that app?
Is that
How about if I just open a new tab on that app and I put CD something,
CDN,
CD and
C,
change direction,
CMD?
if
change
you open a
directory.
new tab, okay, where?
I don't know the name of the app. The app that you said we should download after teaching
The
us
Create
after.
React app. Yeah, you know the Create. What happens is whenever you want to run React project, you need this React app at all times.
Okay,
So
so new tab is fine every time.
yes, you always need a new project, new React
Okay.
app at all times. So there are
Alright.
two things you can do. You can be running Create React app, then the name of your application. You can be running that at all times. But maybe a way to save your data or something is that you can create a brand new one like this the first time, then
Mm-hmm.
you zip it. You know when you zip it, it becomes light.
Okay.
You zip it so that it becomes light. You know, if you want to duplicate this, it take a lot of time before you finish it.
Exactly.
So you zip it so that it becomes light. So whenever
Okay.
you now need it, you now copy that zipped version
Okay.
and paste it again. Like you will now duplicate that zipped version.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will now
And paste
unzip,
again.
or you now unzip that one
Unzip
of
it.
them, so that it becomes the whole app again. Do you get it?
Okay. Mm. I'll learn it, but along the line.
Okay, let's go.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. So let's say import React from React. Then next is cost. Ah, oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. So we have this. Then you bring in the my to this. So what we are doing here is we are bringing in whatever we have here. We are bringing it into this app.js.
Yes.
So you know that app.js we send it
Yes.
to the index.js and index.js we send it to index.html.
Amen.
So let's just concentrate on. I don't want us to put too many codes in this app.js. That's why I'm putting all the codes in this my to-do.js. Do you get it? So that I won't have to later if I want to do anything with this. I won't have to start deleting again and all of that. It's going to be easier to edit. So what we are doing is we are creating a file called my to-do.js. It's going to have all our to-do codes. Then we are taking all the codes to the app.js. The app.js will send it to index.js. So what do we want in our to-do? Number one, we want to display to-dos. For a start, we are going to have some static to-dos. As time goes on, we will remove it, but for a start, we are going to have static to-dos. So let's get a static to-do. let all to dos equals to an array of objects. So in this object, we can have a property called maybe to do, then another property. Let's say the first is I want to sleep. The another property called maybe done, or check done, check. Check. For a start, this can be not done, something like this. So we have an
So
array.
if can I, sorry, sorry for pulling you back. I want to ask a question that is not really related, but I'm just trying to draw your attention. That okay, now this variable all to do now is an object, and also is also in an array. Like the properties are inside an array.
Is an array of objects.
Array of objects, fine. Yeah. Why is like that? Why not just an object?
Okay. By okay, from JavaScript, one of the data like okay, like I explained when we did JavaScript, one of those things the data structure that you're going to be using a lot in JavaScript is array of objects. It makes it easy
Okay.
to handle a lot of things. What we want to do is this. We could have just easily used an array if we imagine we just want to display all the to-dos. Sleep. We could have used an array like this. Eat, jump. So we have this array. But the problem we have
Yes.
is we want to know whether we've done each of these to do. That is, whatever I do to this does not affect this. Whatever
Okay.
I do to this does not affect this. Do you understand?
Yes.
So one data structure that we can easily use to handle that part is to use the array of objects. So that each of them we have its objects. So we can say a key called to do, then we can add sleep.
We can't do this to a normal array. Like we can't give it like a property name, like to do sleep.
We can't.
Do you mean like we can't do this like this to do? Like we are giving a property name to do, and the property is sleep. We can't do it inside just an array.
No. You can't do it. You can't do it in an array.
Okay.
You can't
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we can now say maybe verify or check or something, or yeah, check or anything, or maybe done something like this. Sorry, fast. Since you are here to do it, we can do something like this. So it means that we are here to do this particular one. If you have another, object again, this one can be it. This is another object, still in the same array, but we now have two objects in the array. This is one, and this is two. We now have two objects. So if we do this one, let's assume I've completed the first one, I'll change this to. We find a way of changing this to so. Now that means we've done this one, but we are yet to do this one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you don't get it. We have an array of objects.
Yes. Yes.
Inside is each one has property to do and property done.
Yes.
So the to do is the task you want to do. The done is whether you've done it or not. Since we are here to do at the beginning, of course, you've not done anything. It will have a default value of false since we are yet to do it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So we can now say when we do anyone, we find a way, which we are going to check later. We find a way of changing this first to true. So let's assume I've done this it. Let's assume I've eaten now. Then we will find a way of changing this first to true. That means I've done this one.
It.
Yes. But since this is still first, I'm yet to do this. Do you get it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to be using this data structure to it's going to make our work so easy. And in our JavaScript, when we did JavaScript, I told us about the importance of this data structure. I told us about it. If the e-commerce I gave you to do in JavaScript, if you have completed it, it's going to be difficult for you to get it done without using this data
Yes,
structure. It's going to be so.
because
And
it's
I
very
told
hard
us,
to access the properties directly.
yes. So I told you then that it's going to be that this data structure is very very important. Please get the task completed. Okay, let's move on. So by the at the start, for a start, all of them will be for since I'm here to do any of them. Any questions so far?
No question.
Next, I want to display this to do. I want to display it on the browser. Remember, whatever you want to display on the browser will be inside this place. So we can say all to dos. Okay, let's first do this. We could have done something like this. All to dos index 0. Remember, this
Dot
is the
to
index
do.
0 dot to do. Have been now.
Yes.
So this will display sleep. Copy,
Mm-hmm.
paste. Index 1 will display
It.
eat. Then index 2 will display jump. At the same time, we also want to put this done, whether it is done or not.
No.
So we can say all to dos index 0 dot done. This will be false, but we are not interested in displaying maybe false or two. Instead, we want to situation by if it is false, display maybe not done. If it is true, display done. Do we get it?
Yes.
So we're going to write if statement here, and we are going to use ternary operators to do that. But before we go into that, let's first look at one problem we are going to encounter with this. This means if you add a new to do, it's not going to be displayed on the browser because we are encoding this three. Let's assume we added new to do and this becomes 4. Then remember in our code we only have 3. I've been now.
Yes.
Yes.
So this will only display 3, not 4. And that's going to give us a problem because we will only be able to display 3 to dos. Any question?
I'm trying to get it right. Like, okay, if we have four to dos like in our JavaScript, like in the all to dos,
Let's
and
assume there is a button to add a new to
yes,
do to this thing.
yes,
This here, since we only have, of course, you can't just quickly come to your code and add another line
yes,
and
that's to be
say
from
all to
the
do's index 3 dot to do again. We can't quickly
yeah,
go to your
yes,
code.
yes,
So meaning that this will only be able to display 3 to do's, not 4,
yes,
not 5. Not,
before.
so that's problematic because this is static. We want to make it dynamic so that when we add a new to do to this will automatically know that we've added a new to do and it will display it also. Do you get it?
Yes.
So in order to make that happen, we are going to use the map. I've taught us map in JavaScript. That's why I said it's very important that you understand JavaScript before we move here. Please go and watch the video if you have any issues. Stay on my channel. How to this dots map. What are we mapping? Now this map is what's map? Is what map filter and find. What are they?
Mm-hmm. Map will send them. We send the value and return it.
Yes, they are HOF. I've been now. Higher order
Okay, I
functions.
have that function. Yes.
What are higher order functions?
Yes. So they are functions that have callback.
Yes, okay. Or function that return another function.
Value.
So this function has a callback in it. Let's put the callback. The first is this. We can say my to do. This my to do represents each object in this array, right? It represents each item.
Yes.
in
Yes,
this
yes.
array. So we can now see return. I told us that, well, in vanilla JavaScript we would have done something like this, but you don't use curly braces here. Instead, what do you use? You use parentheses. So what happens is this. This my to do represents each of these objects. We can now say display a div, and inside that div display my to do dot to do. Do you understand?
Right. To do.
My to do represents each of these objects.
Yes.
So we are targeting it, then we are saying we are only displaying the to do property. This will
To
only
do.
display sleep, eat, jump. Do we get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How we move on?
Yes.
So next is this. Let's display it in a table. I think displaying it in a table will allow us to be able to say, to do something like a to do will be here, then there will be a button can be beside it to see whether we've done it or not, depending if you want it, and if you don't want it, we can still continue like this. Well, anyone, let's add a button. This button will help us to handle this done part, whether it has been done or not. So
Not.
let's do that. We are now going to say if this is so display done or display undo, we want to assume that if it is so, it means we've done it, right?
Yes.
So maybe display undo or something. Then if it is not, then display may be done, something like that. We just want to, or mark, let's say mark as done. We want to display mark as done if it is so, if it is false. Like I'm here to do it. So when I click on mark as done, it means I'm marking it as completed. I don't know if you get
Uh-huh.
it. So
Yes.
when let's assume I mistakenly marked one, then I want to be able to undo it so that it will be back to maybe mark as done. So that's the next
Okay.
thing we want to do. So remember we talked about ternary operator. We can easily use that. We can say if my to do, remember my to
Inside the
do,
button.
yes, we want to write JavaScript codes. That's why we are putting these curly braces.
Okay.
Whenever you want to write JavaScript codes, whenever you want to write anything outside HTML, like if you want to write JavaScript, then you need to put these curly braces. Do you get it?
Yes, I get it. I was just surprised. We are in like it's always like a name of the button.
Yeah, that's why some people say React is rough, and well, it's actually rough anyway. So we are saying if my to do, remember my to do represents each of these objects. So
Yes.
if my to do dot done, meaning if it is true.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, please, there's one of your statements that you are saying, and
Okay.
I really want to get it. So you said that my to do, like it actually represents the the item in the
Yes.
array of objects.
Yes. Each object. It represents each object
So,
too.
so I thought the name of the array of objects is auto do.
All to
Why
this
you not?
represents everything. My to
Uh,
do here. My to do here represents each item. Like whatever you put here represents each item in this array.
okay, okay,
Do you get it?
okay, okay,
Okay. So all to this dot map my to do represents each object.
okay,
So
okay.
we are displaying the to do, then we are adding a button here. So if my to do dot done, remember this is either tutti or fussy.
False.
So put a question mark. Remember this is how we write ternary operator. If this condition is true, it will do whatever you put here. It will return this. If it is false, it will return this. So let's assume, let's say yes, let's first do yes or no. So what you are saying is that if this, whatever we have here, if it is true, it will return yes. If it is false, it will return no. Do you understand?
Yes. So,
Please come again.
The way ternary operator works is that you put a condition here. If the
yes.
condition is true, we could have done something like this. If my to do dot done if is equal to true, then return yes. Else return no. Meaning that if it is false, it will return no. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
The way ternary operator, you put a conditional
Okay, we are
statement.
checking it if it is true.
Yes, if it is true, then return yes. But if it is false, return no. Do you understand?
Yes. So does it mean you can use this binary operator inside the normal ES6 or normal JavaScript?
Yes, you can use this in vanilla JavaScript now.
Alright.
So a shorter way to do the same thing is just to write my to do dot done. I explained 2T and 4C when we did JavaScript. So when you say my to do dot done, it will check if the value here is 2T or if it is 4C. And of course, if you have false here, then it means it will be 4C. So it will go to the no. But if you have true here, it will be 2T. And it will go to the yes. Do you understand?
I don't understand you.
Uh okay. It's been a long time you did JavaScript, but then let me quickly brush through it. We talked about 2T and 4C. I explained it then. It's been a while anyway. That 16s are 4C. The 16s are false, 0, undefined. Can you remember?
Not a number. Yeah, not a number.
Not a number, empty string, and what else? Still remains one. False, 0, undefined, not a number, and I can't remember the last one. But 16s are false. Okay, null. Now anything aside these 16s, they are regarded as 2T. So the implication of that is that if I write if statement like this, if else, and I just say it's, now what if statement is only interested in is to check if the value here is 2T or 4C. 8 is not among these 6, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you do whatever you have in the if part, do you understand?
Yes.
But let's assume I put false here. If you do whatever you have in the else part, because false here is false, is among the 6. Show you.
Yes.
So whenever you put anything here, you just check, is this 2T or false? If it is 2T, it should do whatever you have in the, if it is false, it should do whatever you have in the false. That's exactly what you are doing here. My to do dot done. If the value here is 2T, then it will return yes. But if the value here is false, it will return no. Can we move on?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we want to now say, instead of displaying yes or no, we want to say display mark as done. Oh, sorry, undo. If it is display undo, meaning if it is true, it means I've done it. So I want you to display this undo. But if it is false, the way it is, right from the beginning, it will be false. I want to display mark as done. Any question? If it is false, since I'm here to do it, I want you to display mark as done, so that I can easily click. I will see this text mark as done, so that I can click on it to do it. Do you understand it?
Yes.
What Alan, are you still together?
Yeah, boss.
Yes, I'm trying to see through the that binary operator. Because I'm trying to understand it, but it seems like you are giving it a value already.
Put a variable. If you don't understand it, just look at it this way. This will make it easy. If mark.done is true, it will display undo. If it is false the way
Okay,
it is,
okay.
it will display
Like on even on default, it's meant to be false.
yes. So it will display mark as done.
Okay.
You understand? So what we are just
Yes.
doing is, since we understand Tutsi and Forsi, so we know that by default, mark.done is false. So this is like saying false. And we know that once you have false here, it will go to the else. Abi now.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and once it is true, let's assume we click on this button to change it to true, then it will display this undo. So, instead of encoding true or false here, we can now say, go and get the value of my to do, my to do dot showing you our logic.
Yes.
Okay, let's proceed. So this will display all the to do's. Next, we want to be able to add a new to do. We want to add a new to do. So let's do that together. So we can, well, let's put that top. We can put a button. We want to add to do. We want to delete to do. Okay, what else should we do? We want to add a new to do. We want to delete to do. Okay. So let's put a button. Also an input to add to do. So this is an input and a button. So the user can type values inside this place and then click on this button to add a new to do to this. So we can say add new to do. Then we say unclick add to do. So we're going to create a function called add to do, and what that function is going to do is it will help us to add a new to do. Const add to do equals to this. So it will just push a new item to this place. So we can say first get whatever the user types here. So on input, we can say user to do user input. So I'm coming. What we want to do is this. We want to get whatever the user type here, then we push it inside this to do. Hope you understand.
Yes.
So events, remember the event. Sorry, E. So we're going to get a function called user input. Then as user types now, we are going to get a function called user in, oh sorry.
Event. I was about asking.
Sorry. So as user types inside this place, it will call on function user input and it will send it to this user input. So let's get a variable to keep that. Let's my user input at the start it can be empty string. So create a function called user input. So you want to receive that event. So my user input dot target dot value equals to, oh, what am I doing? Sorry. My
Event
user
dot target.
input equals to event dot target dot value.
Dot value.
So as user types inside this place, you are sending it to this place and you are setting it as value of my user input. Any question?
Input.
Questions.
Okay, next.
But I want to ask, like, Okay, this value of this event now, it can't be used in another function.
It can be, that's why we are storing it as a variable here, so that we can now use the variable within this function.
Okay,
You see,
okay,
this is a
nice one.
global variable.
Okay, okay, nice.
So we can now come to this function and now say all to this dot push. We can now push my user input. Hope you understand. Do you get it?
Yes, it will
But
push the new one
it will
So,
not
down
add it to
the.
this.
so,
Yes,
so,
But there's a problem. Okay.
but it won't
so,
display it now.
so I thought you are going to use that spread operator.
So we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So we are pushing it like this, right? Hope you understand.
Yes.
But the problem is that this is going to push a string. Meanwhile, each item here is an object.
Mm.
Do you get it?
Mm.
Yes.
So let's undo that part. So we're going to get an object called to do. So we now say, let it be my user inputs. Then let the done by default, remember, value of done is false. Any question? Shall I understand?
So,
Yes, sir.
so that done. So you are putting first.
Yes, because by
So I think.
default, if you want to create a new to
Oh,
do, you are here to do it. It should be false. It is now by default.
okay, okay.
Or
It means like this thing itself will help like in that e-commerce assignment.
well, yes, it make you understand JavaScript the more to do the assignment. You can also do it like this if this looks a bit confusing. You can do something like this. Then now place new to do. Do you understand? I think this is easier to understand now.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Okay. So, but there's a little problem here. The problem is that when you push it here like this, React will not add it to the page. It will not. I've explained that in one of our classes, telling you that whenever you want React to adjust the HTML, remember whatever is inside this return is the HTML. I mean, now whatever you return in a component is the HTML part.
yes,
Abi.
yes.
So whenever you want to React to let the HTML be aware that you've changed a value like this and you want it to reflect the changes, then you can't. This cannot be a variable like this. It needs to be a state. Do you get it?
A constant.
Okay. This cannot be a variable. It needs to be a state.
A
State.
state. Oh,
Often towards the previous classes, I've explained states. This needs to be a state. So let's bring in states. Again, whenever you want to HTML, if not
okay.
because
Use state.
yes, use state. If not
Okay.
because we want the HTML to be aware of these parts. Like once you add a new to do, you want the HTML to quickly reflect it immediately to add it to part of those things that will be
Okay,
displayed
okay,
on the screen.
okay, okay,
If
okay.
not for that, we
So it
won't.
means
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, ask a question.
I wanted to ask. So it means that it is only in React this is not valid, but it is valid in
Yes, you understand. This
normal
is
JavaScript.
you get it. This is a valid JavaScript code, but because React will not know that it has changed,
Hmm.
that's why we are bringing it. We are bringing in use states.
Hmm.
But sir,
Yes, sir.
saying vanilla JavaScript, this is going to work fine.
Yes, it will. Of course, vanilla JavaScript will not reflect these changes. Also, it's
E-
not going to. You
We'll
still need
call the
to call.
function.
You said?
We need to call the function, Abby.
You need to call the function again. That's what use state is doing for you.
Okay, it doesn't need to call any functions. You just
Yes. Yes.
assign it directly.
Yes, it will automatically know that something has happened and I need
Change.
to adjust the HTML part. Okay, so let's bring in our use states to undo this all to this so that we can easily do that. So we're going to say let's call it change all to this equals to use states. So we brought in use states. Any question?
No question
So
from me.
this is still fine work like before it to display it. Then when you type here, it becomes this value. Fine, yes. When you click on this button, it's going to call on this function. Then now you can't push again. Remember, whenever you want to change anything, you need to use this change all to this. This is a function now that you can use
It
to
should be
add.
changed all to do's directly.
It's a function you
Sir,
can now use.
sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, why are you using change instead of set?
You can use set also. You can call it any name. You can call it any name.
So far is in the next is in the
Okay.
second
Yes.
so far is in the index one.
Yes. So we can't push again. We need to now use that set all to this. Set all to this. Now again, you can't push. You can't. Whenever you call on this function, whatever you put here becomes the new value of all to this. If I put tire here like this, it means this all to this is no longer an array, is now a string, which is tire. So whatever you put here becomes the new value of all to this. So what you're going to do is this. We will now say, help us to get whatever you meet here initially. So we spread it. Dot dot dot. To this. After spreading it, you can now help us to add new to do, which is
To
this
do.
variable. So the browser now will now.
Sir, can you come again with the explanation, please?
Okay.
Sir, can you come again?
Alright. So if I come here inside this out to set all to this function, if I come here and I put Newton, set all to this. Remember, whatever you put here becomes the new value of all to this, whatever.
Okay. Yes.
So all to this will now be Newton. It's no longer going to be an array. Of course, this place will not be able to work again because it's no longer an array of objects. It's now a string.
Yes.
So what we want to do is this. And if you say it should be new to do, if you just say new to do, the problem with this is that all my to dos now will just be this single object alone. Do you understand?
Okay.
It will just
You
be
have to
this
use the
single object.
spread.
But I don't want it to be the single. I just want it to add it to whatever it meets here. Are we following?
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why we are creating an array. Help us to spread all to dos. So meaning if you take whatever the value of all to do is, it will first spread it here. When it is done, you can now add new to do. So it will now be part of it. Any question?
No question, sir.
Okay, let's move on.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So that simply means that this auto does now, it actually represents all this sleep, eat, jump.
Yes, and whatever Newton we had.
Okay.
Okay. Next is we want to be able to maybe mark it to do that it has been completed or not. Then maybe to also delete it to do. So we are still within this map, but there's something about map. Whenever you are using map, you need to add a key. I told us that whenever you are using map in React, you need to add a key, and the key must be unique. It must be something unique. So in order to make the key, in order to bring in the key, we can, since we are not using ID, then we can just put our I for index. Do you understand? I said that whenever you are using map in React.js, it's expecting you that, okay, to start with, let me go over this again. Map in React.js can only take one item. It can only, I've explained that in one of our previous videos. Map in React.js can only take one item, not two, not three, not four, just one. What that means is this: if I have a div like this, and I try to put another div here, it throw back an error because we now have two items. Map can only take one item, but inside that one item, I can now have many items. I can now have hundreds of div. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, this single item must have something we call key. This make the outer container must have a key. That key must be unique to each to do. Like each item there, it must be unique. So we are using index because we know that each of these items, like two items cannot have the same index. So we are using index. But let's assume we have an ID. Let's say we have a property here called ID. Then we can easily use the ID since two items also cannot have the same ID. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what you're going to do is we can now say key is index. So let's uncomment this now. Key equals to index. Hope you're enjoying React.
Mm,
Yes, sir.
so, because I want to ask you, this binary operation of the operator, yeah. This undo, like, is it the value that will change?
I don't
I don't
get.
understand. Is it like is it like a message like undo? Like what's the undo going to do?
Okay, it will display it on the screen. If this is 2, it will display undo. If this is false, it will display mark as none.
Okay. Okay. We are in a button.
Yes. So next is, let me just break this to the next line. Let's break this so that it will be easier to read and understand. Okay, just format this a bit. Okay, next is we want to add maybe a button. Oh, come again. We want to add a button to mark it as done. Like when you click on this button, you want to say, okay, we want to change this first to 2. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to say, click a button, button tag, then we don't even need to. Since it will be, we can put that on this same button. Like when I click, at first I'll see mark as done. I've been now.
Yes.
So when I click on this button, then we want to mark it as done. So I can say on click, but we can say mark to do. So let's get a function called mark to do. That's the next thing. Const mark to do equals to this. Next is this. We need to be able to know the particular one we are clicking on. Remember, all of them, if you have 100 to this here, all of them are displayed with this single line. This map is the one doing the work for us, right?
Yes.
So we need to know the one we click on. So what we're going to do is when we click on it, we'll be sending this index to as a parameter to this function. So the index will help us to know the one that we click on. For the first one, index will be 0. I've been now.
Yeah. Yes.
For the second index will be 1, like that. So we're going to say, on click of this button, whenever you want to write parameterized function in React, remember you put you write arrow function like this. So set the index as a parameter to mark to do. So I can receive it here as index. So with the index now, we can now know that okay, this is the one we clicked. And so what are we going to do? Number one, first get all the to-dos. You can say, aha, I think I need to talk about this also. We can create a variable here called all all to-dos. It's not a must that I use a new name anyway, but to make it easy to understand, my to-dos equals to, want it to be the same as all to-dos. Again, we are creating a variable called my all to-dos, and we are saying it should be the same as all to-dos. So what we are doing is we are bringing all of
Does,
this.
so
Okay.
does it mean that if we want to use any array of object like that, like in a function, like we have to call it inside the function?
You
We have
know,
to name it a variable inside the function.
yes, you know, we don't have direct access to change this.
Okay.
Yes.
We can't change this directly. So bringing it
Okay.
like this make it easy to do. But there's a problem with this line. In React, this is faulty. You don't access an object like this, an object or an array like this. Why? The way JavaScript works is that once you access it like this, I explained that in one of our classes when we were getting close to the end of JavaScript. I explained something called um what's it called? Locating by, is it locating by address now? Yes. Sometimes what JavaScript does is this: is going to locate when you call on a variable like this. If the variable is a string or a number, it will just save the value. What? Don't worry. Let's do this. Let me quickly explain. Let's say name equals to Taye. Name is Taye like this. If I come here and I say my name, let's come here. If I say my name is name, what JavaScript is going to do is it will bring this name, take the value here, and assign it to my name. Do we understand?
Yes.
But if this were to be an object, and I have name, Taye, let's say, if this were to be an object like this, and I say my name equals to name, it's not going to take this object and assign it to my name. No, no. Once, since you are dealing with object, you know what it's going to do? It will take the address. It's not taking this value. We call this referencing by address. It's not taking this object and bringing it here. No. Instead, it's going to go to the location of this name in memory, like where it is actually stored. Do you understand?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Let's assume it's
Where is this
name.
stored?
If it's just a string, it will keep the
Yes.
value. If this is tying now, and I say my name equals to
Okay,
name,
to call it
it will bring
directly.
the value and assign it to this. But when you do this like this, you know this thing is actually stored somewhere in JavaScript memory.
Okay.
It's actually stored in memory. So what it's going to do is it will go and keep this in memory, but it will store the address where it is located as the value of name. Do you understand? Let me call this new name.
Wait, where is this stored?
In memory of JavaScript, that address is not storing this. How do I say? You might just see it as a shelf. So if you keep an object in that shelf, instead of it to, whenever you call on that object, instead of it to take the value in that shelf, no, it's not going to. Instead, it will save the address where it is located in the memory as the value
Okay.
of new name. The reason it's doing this is that objects are usually heavy, so it doesn't want to be carrying the whole object about every time. Do you understand?
Okay.
So storing the memory is more efficient, like it's easier because it's just a string of characters. If you just store the address as the value of new name, do you get it?
Yes.
It's not storing this whole thing as the value of new name.
So
Instead,
it means when you call it inside that function, it won't function as
so
what
when
you are
I now say my
expecting.
name equals to new name, what it's going
Yeah.
to do is it will now say go to this address, go and bring whatever is there and assign it to my name. Do you understand?
Yes.
So with that now, if you assign this object also as the value of my name, it's as though it's as though it's the same thing.
Yes.
So it's as though it is the same thing. But the problem with that is this. If I now come here now, remember my name is one item, new name is another item, Abi.
Uh-huh.
If I now come and I say new name dot name is Kenny, I'm not touching my name. I'm only touching new name. They are two different items. Try and get there.
Yes.
Sir,
At the
What?
hello,
same
sir.
goal,
Yes,
name
sir.
is a big con.
Sir, can you come again? Please, I lost my network. Please, boss.
Okay. So this is my explanation. If we have this object, we have this object. What I'm going to do is stores whenever you're dealing with object like this, it doesn't store this item. Nicotimas are used to together.
Yes, boss.
Okay.
I'm there.
Instead of storing this whole item as the value of new name, instead it will store the address as new name.
Okay.
So whatever is at that address, that will be the value of new name. What is going to now do is whenever you call on new name, it's now yeah we are saying my name equals to new name. So it's now go to okay, this is an address now. Let me take whatever is at that address and assign it to my name. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay.
So this object is the value of my name. Then it's now my name and new name are the same thing. I've been now.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But when I now come here and I say new name dot name, I'm changing this name. If it's Kenny, what it's going to do is you now go to this address of new name and change the property name to Kenny. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes.
Remember, new name is it points to an address. So when I say change the name to Kenny, it will now go to that location and change the value of name to Kenny. So if we now say alert my name dot name, if you now say alert my name dot name, if you alert Kenny, which shouldn't be? It should be Taiwo. It should be this Taiye. Do you understand it?
Above changed it
We
now.
change that
Okay,
of new
before we
name.
change it, we change it after.
Yes, not before. We change it after. Do you understand what's going on?
Yes.
We've assigned it here and we are not touching my name. After assigning it, we now change this, which is out of new name to Kenny. So normally my name dot name should all things being equal. You expect it that it should still be Taye,
Yes.
but it's not going to be Taye, it will be Kenny. Because this points to the address. And this also points to the address.
Mm.
Do you understand it? So they point to the
Yes.
same address. So once we change something at that address, it will affect it again. It will affect every other thing using items located at that address. So I understand.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the problem we have with this. You can't do this because if you set it like this, whenever you do anything to this, my all to this, it will be editing the to dos also, all to this directly. And remember,
Mm-hmm.
the only way we should be able to edit all to do should be by using this
That is.
set all to this. So what you're going to do instead is we spread it. We spread it like this. So it's going to spread it and create a new array. This is a new array. So this is going to be a new location. Does that understand?
Arrow.
Okay. When you spread something, I told you that it's going to pop it down.
Yes.
It will bring this and place it here. Take the next one, bring it there. Take the next one and bring it there. Then we are now placing everything inside the array.
Mm-hmm.
So both technically both this and this seem to give us the same results. I've been now.
Yes.
But the reason we are using it is because we don't want it to be changing it in memory. So that whenever we do anything to this, my all to this is not going to affect this all to this. They are now two different things.
Okay. Yes.
Do you understand? So
Yes.
we are creating a new array here, which is different from this one. So we can now do whatever we want to do with this my all to this. So let's do that again. So we can now do, we can say my all to this um index dot done, let it be so. Do we get it? This array
Mhm.
square braces index is going to
Okay.
take, if this were to be one, let's assume this, I click on the second one, this will be one. I think now
Yes.
dot done equals to so. Do you get it?
Yes. Anyone we click on,
Yes. So
since it is
so when we
default,
are
it is
now done,
false.
uh, when we are now done, we can now say set all to dos. Remember, whatever we put here becomes the new value of all to dos, Abby.
Yes.
So we can now put my all to dos. Sure, see here. My all to dos represents everything in all to dos. It's still the same thing. We are
Yeah, and the
changing that
spread.
of done to two, and we are setting it now. Newton Timos, are you still together?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's move on. But then, I want to do something. This single button, that is, this single button that we are clicking to mark to do, it's also the same one that we're going to click to unmark it. Abina.
Yes.
So we need to write an if statement here to check that if it is, if what you see there is true, if it's true already, change it to false, and if it is false, change it to so.
True.
So what we're going to do is this. We now write our if statement. Oh, what is this? Okay. Let's write our if statement here. If else, if my all to dos my all. So what it's going to do is, if my all to dos dot done, if it is true,
It's
remember,
true.
then change it to false. Else change it to true. Whatever it is now, whether it is false or true, help us to now set it as a new value of
All
this.
to those.
I'll move on.
Yes.
Okay. Next thing is, I think we want to delete to do. Let's to do so. Let's add a new button to delete to do. So we're going to add an event on click, then we can say delete to do. Then of course we want to know the index. I mean that particular one that the user clicked on to delete.
Ah, sir, Sir, I lost my connection.
Okay,
God.
don't worry. The class is recorded. You watch it after. So when you click on this delete to do, it's going to call on the function to delete the to do const.
Index. Nice.
So next is do this again. This in fact you can even do something like this. You can say you may not even do you can do something like this. Set all to this. Remember whatever you put here becomes the new value of all to this. So we can say um, all to dos dot filter. I've explained we've done something on this filter before now.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, filter we take in this to do ind. So check if they are not the same. If index if it's not the same as ind, then return it. What's going on? Oh, it should be in parentheses. Yeah. So what's going on? Coming out to this the filter. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Good. So it's fine. If it's still confusing, you can open. You can take it out. To this. So what you are doing here is this: we are going to all the to this. We are filtering it out. Then to do represent each item, and represent the index of each item. Abina.
Yes.
So we are now saying help us to check if this is not the same. It's going to return everything except the one that does not meet this condition. Of course, the one that will not meet this condition is the one that has the same
It's the one
index
you
as
click on.
this. Yes. So when you are done, now set it as new to this. Any question? I think we are done with the all
Sure.
assignments.
I'm coming, please. Okay. I guess.
So we are not using this to do. If you are not using it, you can put underscore. Since you are not using it, you can put underscore. It's fine. Okay, what else? So we are done with the assignment. Next is we need to split things into components. We are done with the building, but we want to now split things into different components. Will we stop here tonight? Then tomorrow we split into components.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
I'll go through the video again and
Okay.
to be able to master it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, brother.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, brother. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Good
Good
night,
night.
sir. I will watch. I will send the video
Good night,
before
sir.
the class. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Good night,
All
sir.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.